Hello classmates, I am Keith Lawson, here to inform you about the 9/11 terrorist attack. My title, A City in Rubble, A Nation in Shock. Do you remember how old you were when you first heard about the breaking news about 9/11? I do. It was probably the first time I ever paid attention to the news. The graphic images of the news kept me glued to the television. I am still to this day drawn to the time in history. Every time I go to New York, the images reappear in my mind. On September 11th, 2001 at 8:45 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 from Boston with 92 passengers aboard was traveling 417 miles per hour, loaded with over 20,000 gallons of jet fuel. It crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, killing hundreds of innocent people instantly and trapping hundreds more in higher floors. Television cameras broadcasted live to what they thought was a freak accident. 18 minutes later at 9:03 a.m., a Boeing 767 United Airlines Flight 175 traveling 590 miles an hour hit the South Tower at the 60th floor, causing a massive explosion. Burning debris fell from the sky and covered the streets of New York City. America was under attack. American Airlines Flight 175 was flying over downtown Washington at 9:45 a.m., then crashing itself into the west side of the Pentagon military headquarters, leading to a structural collapse of the building. A total of 125 people died in the Pentagon casualty. At 9:58, when Americans thought the attacks couldn't get any more catastrophic, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed, covering the city with massive clouds and smoke from blocks to blocks. New Yorkers ran for their lives. 30 minutes later, the North Tower couldn't withstand the heat from the burning jet fuel, and it then collapsed. A fourth and final plane was hijacked, but due to some brave passengers, they attacked the hijackers. The plane flipped over on its side, speeded up to 500 miles per hour, and then crashed in a field in Pennsylvania at 10:10 a.m. All 45 passengers were killed. They still to this day don't know where the plane was headed to. Some say it was headed towards the White House for George W. Bush, and some say nuclear power plants off the eastern seaboard. Total number of deaths was 2,977, including 343 firefighters, 23 New York City police officers, 37 Port Authority police officers. Almost 10,000 others were treated for injuries. There were many responses to the attack on 9/11. One was the government created the Department of Homeland Security. New York has been off of level orange, the second highest alert since the attack. The second response would be to defeat the Taliban and capture America's #1 target, Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was the mastermind behind September 11th and was not found until May 2nd, 2011, where he was hunted down and killed by U.S. forces in the secret location in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The rebuilding process of the World Trade Centers is just in the beginning phase, with the recent opening of the One World Trade Center, or the more commonly known as the Freedom Tower. The Freedom Tower, which took place of the Northern Twin Tower, is 104 stories tall and is currently the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. New York has future plans of rebuilding all 7 World Trade Center buildings that were destroyed during 9/11. Even though 9/11 was one of the darkest days in American history, it will forever live on in the lives of Americans. In commemoration to the 9/11 attacks, a memorial was created at the site of the former World Trade Center. 2 reflecting pools were set in the location of the original Twin Towers, with over 3,000 names on the fallen Americans engraved within the 2 pools. 9/11 will be studied and discussed throughout time. Our children will only know it through history, just as we know the Civil War through history. There will always be questions, discussions, and arguments about why it happened. It is enough to say it happened, and it happened on American soil.